Did you know that inflation in the US hit a 39-year high of 7% in 2021? That means that all your savings lost 7% of their value within a single year. That cup of coffee, 7 sips less for what you paid for it a year before. That slice of pizza, a little skinnier than usual. That gallon of milk, that much more expensive. The rising inflation rate is a growing concern for people, a hit to one's purchasing power, the amount of goods you can buy with a unit of currency. If inflation continues to rise at this same rate, what you used to be able to buy for $100 would be the equivalent of what you could only afford at 30. That's losing 70% of your purchasing power in a decade. So how can the average consumer protect their hard-earned savings against inflation? 2 words: digital assets. I'm Forkast Justin Solomon, and this is The Great Disruption.
The United States printed 40% of all the dollars ever created in the last 12 months. So that kind of, the dollar inflation is 40%. The consumer price index increase is 5%. So you have to ask yourself, really, what is your protection against 40% monetary inflation? And you want an asset that has limited supply. Bitcoin, Ethereum, those are limited supply assets. They're quality assets, and that's why I think they're going to do very well compared to holding US dollars or some other fiat currency.
In times of inflation, gold is usually considered a safe haven, but now the numbers are telling another story. Take a look over the last decade. The precious metal had an average growth rate of just over 3.7%. Compare that to Bitcoin's nearly 83% and Ethereum's 183.3%. That's a staggering difference for your purchasing power.
It comes down to monetary policy. And I think monetary policy now is really starting to make people think, how am I hedging my portfolio against inflation? And I think one of obviously the key macro PMs in the world, Paul Tudor Jones, came out and stated that in this particular situation, he sees Bitcoin as being the fastest horse as his hedge for inflation.
This new multi-asset financial system is secured by blockchain technology and enables us to choose the assets we wish to invest in and transact with, essentially cutting off our dependency on the fiat system. This asset-agnostic system empowers individuals with more economic sovereignty and makes them less exposed to the inflation and supply increases of a single central currency. Other blockchain protocols are creating asset-agnostic bartering systems that enable people to use any assets as a means of payment or value exchange. Say that your friend has an NFT you like, but you don't have any cash, just some ether. An asset-agnostic bartering system will enable you to pay for the NFT with your ETH while your friend trades that ETH for cash afterwards, and this could work the same way for a car or a house as well. These can make people less reliant on a single centrally controlled currency. Digital assets are programmed with a built-in scarcity, meaning they have a limited supply that can't be increased by a central party, nor can its monetary policy suddenly change. This qualifies cryptocurrencies and NFTs as hard assets, much like gold and real estate that have a limited supply. People who are worried about inflation can allocate part of their wealth to a digital asset with a fixed supply, like Bitcoin. Bitcoin's tokenomics guarantee that its supply will be capped at 21 million. Investors who used to buy gold as a storage of value were partially opting out of the financial system by owning hard assets. Digital assets make this more accessible as a more portable alternative. They can transcend borders by being easily transferable for next to nothing. This is one of their major advantages over precious metals or real estate. They can also be converted nearly instantly into cash on crypto exchanges. There's little doubt that digital assets are here to stay. A multi-asset financial system built on digital assets brings real empowerment to the people and potentially gives them a bigger slice of the pie.